Digital onboarding group. I thought it was pretty good. So, is everybody having a good time? Everybody having, the food's good? If the food's not good, you know where to complain. Pulse survey's coming up. All right, speaking of dinner time, recently I was in a Grab, because I don't have a car, and I was trying to be polite to the Grab driver, and I said, "How are you?" And he replied and said he's fine. And then he said the thing that all Malaysians say. He said, "Have you eaten?" Of course, that's what you always say to everyone. Have you eaten? Have you eaten? You don't ask what they've eaten, you say, "Have you eaten?" That's the most important thing. So I, being very polite and knowing the culture in Malaysia, I said, "I have eaten. Have you eaten?" And he said, no, I haven't eaten. Indian dinner time is 9 p.m. Indian dinner time is 9 p.m. I've been in Malaysia a long time, guys. I have never heard of different dinner times for different ethnicities. Like, what is that, 9 p.m. for Indians? Chinese, it's 8 minutes past 8, of course, right? 8, lucky number. For Malays, you go to the McDonald's at 1 a.m., then you know. But you know, something I've learned about Malaysians is they're very inquisitive. They really like to ask questions. So, where are you from? What did you eat? Have you eaten? How long have you been in Malaysia? All that kind of thing. And I was hanging out with some friends, and I told someone, I said, I'm homeschooled. And they were like, "You're homeschooled? Okay." And the girl looked at me and she's like, "You're homeschooled, but how come you're not socially awkward?" Wow, okay. Anybody homeschooled here? Anybody? No, wow. I guess I'm the total population of Malaysians who are homeschooled. So basically, I'm socially awkward, right? But at least I'm not crazy. My parents, they're pretty crazy. I'll tell you why they're crazy. When I was 2 years old, they said, "You know what? We're going to move to another country. We're going to go to Malawi." So I was in Malawi, Africa, and Africa, that's not a country, by the way. Basically we were at the airport. Does anybody like airports? Anybody like airports here? Yeah, not many people like airports actually, but I grew up in airports. Like, I've been traveling back and forth all the time. So you know when you check in at the airport, you gotta line up, and so my mum's checking in. My dad had to fly ahead of us. He's checking in. She's checking in. Man, I've been here too long. She's checking in, and she's got all of us kids. I've got 4 siblings, a baby in her arm. She's stressed. My mum is stressed. When I say stressed, like, you look at your mum, you see stressed, and you're like, I want to keep this connected to this. I will not speak to that person right now. That's the kind of stress we're talking about. And then the guy in front of her, he looks around, he looks around at her, and he's like, "Less stress, more fun." Well, that's such helpful advice. My mum was not amused. And then he looks around, and then he sees all the kids behind her and the baby, and he's like, "Actually, you're doing all right. Are you doing all right? Newbies, are there any newbies here? Any new ones? This last one's for you guys. I was a newbie once. I joined Juris, 3 years ago? And I made a big boo-boo. Some advice for you guys before I start the story: you need to do your research when you join a company. You got to do that, because you know what I did. Now, usually at New Hope, you come in, you do all your stuff, and I think it's day 2 or 3. I can't remember. I can check with HDA later. Naaman and Waihan will come in, and they'll tell you about the history of the company, and they'll tell you that. At least that's what it was like when I joined. And I did not do my research on this company. Don't be like me. So I had a question at one point, and I put my hand up and I said, "I have a question," and I asked my question, and then I wanted to be polite, you know. It's really good to be polite if you're not sure who someone is. So I looked at Waihan and I said, "Sorry, I didn't catch your name." So the moral of that story is, do your research, okay guys? That's all I've got for you guys tonight, but one last thing I want to say. iMoney and Juris, may your life be like toilet paper, long and useful. Thank you very much.